Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob, and this is episode 95. Over the last several episodes, we've talked about what happens when we do choose love, when we begin to live from it, lead with it, and allow it to soften and transform us. But today, we're going to flip the lens, not to scare, not to shame, but to speak the quiet truth. There's a real cost to not embracing love, and we rarely talk about it. So let's go there. Let's talk about what happens when you keep love at a distance, when you refuse to wield it or believe you're unworthy of it. Because the effects, they don't always look dramatic at first, but over time, they shape your world from the inside out. You begin to feel numb. When love is absent, especially unconditional love, you don't always feel pain first. You feel nothing. You go through the motions, you laugh at the right moments, you smile for photos, you say the words people expect, but inside, there's a quiet ache. You feel like you're watching your own life happen from behind a window. Disconnected, unseen, unfelt. You start asking questions like, what's the point? Why am I tired all the time? Why does nothing feel real? And you think something's wrong with you, but the truth is, you've gone too long without love, and your soul is trying to survive without its native language. Now, you're never without love because you're loved by a lot of people and a lot of others. But sometimes you just don't allow it in. You get easily irritated or defensive. Without love softening your worldview, everything starts to feel like a threat. Every disagreement becomes a battle. Every question feels like a judgment. Every inconvenience becomes unbearable. You snap more. You trust less. You carry tension in your shoulders, your voice, your breath. Why? Because when we don't feel loved deeply, safely, unconditionally, we start living in protection mode. And protection mode keeps people out, even the ones we long to let in. You live for control, not connection. Without love as your guide, control becomes your substitute. You micromanage. You plan every moment. You overthink every word you say. You need people to act a certain way so you can feel okay. But here's the quiet tragedy, guys. Control is a poor substitute for connection. Because love requires openness, and control requires armor. And the longer you choose control over love, the lonelier it gets. You project pain onto others. This is the hardest part to admit. When we don't process our pain in love, we end up leaking it onto other people. We criticize, we blame, we pick fights that aren't really about the moment. We hold people to impossible standards because we're trying to avoid our own tenderness. We hurt people we care about, not because we're evil, but because we've forgotten how to receive and give love freely. And what's worse, we often punish ourselves for it afterward, which only deepens the shame. And shame is love's loudest barrier. You start to believe you don't deserve it. Maybe this is the quietest heartbreak of all. The longer you go without embracing love, the more convinced you become that it was never meant for you. You tell yourself, I'm too broken. It's too late. I've messed up too much. I wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. But none of that is truth. That's pain, unspoken, slowly hardening into belief. And love, unspoken, slowly turning into absence. So what can you do? You start small, guys. You start here. You name what you've been missing. You speak the truth that's been too heavy to carry. I want to feel again. I want to soften again. I want to love and be loved without fear. Then you take one step. You look someone in the eyes today instead of looking away. You speak kindly to yourself when you make a mistake. You let someone in just a little further than feels comfortable. You tell someone you love them and don't ask them to say it back. You choose to believe, just for today, that love is still yours. Because it is. It always was. Love does not punish you for avoiding it. If you've been living without love, love doesn't scold. It doesn't shame. It doesn't say, "Where have you been?" It says, "Welcome home." It meets you where you are, in your doubt, in your fear, in your exhaustion, in your longing. It wraps around you gently, patiently, and reminds you you were never meant to do this life without love. You don't have to keep pretending, and it's not too late. You can wield love again, you can let it in, and you can begin right now to live from this very thing your soul was made for. Thank you for listening. If you've recognized yourself in this episode, know this: you are not alone. You are not too far gone, and love is not lost to you. It is patient, it is waiting, and it is strong enough to carry the weight you've been holding. Let it meet you. Let it move through you, and let it become the way you live from this moment on. Until next time, guys, breathe in grace, exhale in resistance, and remember, love is always waiting for your return. I love you guys very, very, very much. I truly do. And you know what I need you to do? Go out and pass that on. Later, Gators. Bye-bye.